Hello everybody, this is my entry to Lost in the Reels 2000 subscriber hidden gem competition, and if you're looking for some excellent, articulate, and intelligent film and TV reviews hosted by someone who's passionate about their craft, I have no idea what the f*** you're doing watching this channel, but Sean over at Lost in the Reel has you covered. Go check him out. There'll be a link in the description. And with that, let's get started. I guess I have a hard time labeling this one as a hidden gem exactly, but I actually haven't met a ton of people who have seen it, and I've only heard it referenced online a single time. Anyone who watches my channel knows that I'll watch anything with Nicolas Cage in it, and Lord of War certainly delivers. It's actually based on a true story about a young man who realizes just how much money there is in selling guns to criminals. He starts off small by selling refurbished guns salvaged from war zones back into those same war zones, and eventually ends up becoming one of the world's biggest arms dealers, which nets him some unwanted attention from the FBI. Cage actually delivers a surprisingly low-key and grounded performance, and I often point to this movie when someone says he's incapable of not acting like a goofball. If you're looking for a great crime drama about morally gray characters operating in the dark, this one is absolutely awesome, and has one of the best opening lines I think I've ever seen.
There are over 550 million firearms in worldwide circulation. That's one firearm for every 12 people on the planet. The only question is, how do we arm the other 11?
It's smartly written, well shot, engaging the whole way through, and well worth your time. And that whole life of a bullet opening scene that's just the coolest shit. Main Street Meats is more of a micro-budget film about a butcher shop selling human meat that I covered back when my channel was in its infancy. It's a movie that I don't think I've ever heard anyone else talk about, and no one I talked to about it has ever even heard of it, and I think that's kind of a shame because it really deserves to have more of a cult status. Not because it's good, it kind of isn't. The acting is weird and stilted, a lot of the shots are out of focus, and I really can't decide if they overstated the violence or didn't quite take it far enough. The thing is, it's just so charming and fun. It's quite literally impossible to not enjoy this movie because everyone in it is just having such a great time, and it really shows.
Give me some of those sweet-looking chunks. 3 pounds, from the bone to the stick, lickety-split.
You got it.
You can't say no to the hashers. That's crazy. How can you say no to the hashers?
It's all right. Lady don't want no hashers. Just a coffee.
No hashers. F***ing crazy bitch.
Asshole. Shut up and eat your shit. Or so help me, I'll throw you through the f***ing window.
Nettie. We need more meat.
It's a movie that I want to see get a sequel or gain more of an underground following like the original Evil Dead did, because it just looks like it was an absolute blast to make, and that kind of joy is completely contagious when you watch it. I've seen Main Street Meats 4 or 5 times by now, and I keep going back for more because it's just so much fun. If you're a fan of micro-budget movies, horror films, or just indie movies in general, you seriously can't go wrong with this one. Just keep in mind that your dad is definitely going to walk in during the topless volleyball scene. The last movie I want to talk about is an Australian comedy called Danny Deckchair. It's about a construction worker who has a bit of an argument with his partner after she ditches on a vacation they were supposed to take together, and then, after hearing her mock him behind his back and discovering her reason for not going on vacation was a lie and she was actually seeing another man, he decides to see what would happen if he attaches a bunch of giant balloons to his deck chair and just floats away. You know, like you do. By the way, that last sentence was so long my Word document flagged it as grammatically incorrect. Anyway, unfortunately he forgets the yard trimmers that he was meaning to use to cut the balloon strings and float back down, and what follows is the adventure of a man who gets stuck in the air, floating off over the continent and all the things he sees along the way. Actually, no, that's what you would expect, but he actually comes down fairly soon after that point. I think what I love about this movie is just how real everyone feels, despite their exaggerated comedy personalities. Danny's a little absent-minded and kind of immature and quirky, and even sort of passive-aggressive, but he's so kind-hearted and well-meaning that you just can't help but love him even when he's angry. His girlfriend is, well, she's selfish and petty, and it's kind of a big head about being in a quote-unquote higher society job than Danny, and she's even in the early phases of an affair. And even though, spoiler alert, it doesn't work out for them in the end, I think there's a lot to be said for showing a relationship that's realistically dysfunctional while still managing to get some funny scenes out of it. There's a particularly great scene where they're both mad at each other and angrily setting up for a party, scowling and slamming stuff the entire time, and then immediately becoming sunshine and rainbows the second the doorbell rings. In the end, Danny's forced to reevaluate his priorities and realize just how unappreciated he was in his old life, and it all leads to a pretty satisfying conclusion. At the risk of overusing this word, Danny Deckchair is just so utterly charming, and even though it suffers from some pacing issues and the humor is less laugh-out-loud funny as it is uplifting and cute, it's a movie that just makes you feel good, and I think that's all it really needs to be. Take a look for yourself. If you're a fan of more understated comedies, I think you'll like this one. So, that's my list. Lord of War, Main Street Meets, and Danny Deckchair. If you have seen or decide to watch one of these movies, let me know what you think down in the comments. And please go do take a look at Lost in the Reel. It's a great channel that deserves all the success it gets. And as for me, well, that's all for now. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.